Hello, and welcome to your weekly reading for the week of January 27th, 2020. Well, if you saw last week's video, you'll recall how I was talking about kind of social justice ideas and how you approach your healing in the world from a place of allowing energy to rejuvenate you rather than seeking, or not seeking, but engaging in circumstances that drain you. Kind of that whole balance between embodying what you believe and just being the change kind of through your presence versus trying to fight and get people to validate you. And it's a tricky energy because sometimes we should fight and speak up. So that's exactly what we're talking about here again in January 27th. We're talking about the Emperor and we're talking about justice. So the Emperor is, to me, the patriarchy, but also the Emperor is Aries energy. He's kind of the divine, he can be the divine masculine version of authority, as opposed to the Empress, which would be divine feminine. And we all have masculine and feminine inside all of us, so we all have our own inner Emperor. We all have our own sense of inner authority. I think that's important to consider when dealing with the Emperor, is that whatever power struggles we're kind of engaged with, how does that reflect some of our internal power struggles? So, for example, if I'm giving an institution a lot of power over my feelings about myself, then that isn't just. And so this energy is really about finding your own sense of inner authority and seeing how the external world challenges that. So maybe external patriarchal emperors. How do external patriarchal emperors challenge your own sense of inner authority? And how do you stay grounded, rooted in your own sense of I know what I need, I know what's right for me, I trust myself, with the Justice card? Because I think this is kind of where we're moving in 2020, is deeper self-understanding, and also how we can make an impact in the world for positive justice. How can we create justice in the world? So there is injustice in the world, obviously, and we can blame that on so many things, right? We can call it by all different kinds of names. We can call it racism, we can call it misogyny, we can call it homophobia, we can call it classism, we can call it capitalism, right? A lot of people have different lenses and perspectives on where this injustice arises, and the honest truth is it's coming from everywhere, and all of that is real. I am going to talk a little bit about patriarchy, because as a woman, and also this tarot YouTube channel might get a little more political in 2020, just because it's I am political, and it's 2020. Things need to change. So, the Emperor. Someone made a point, or I've been hearing people make points, about how we talk about toxic masculinity so much that we stop defining what positive masculinity looks like. And we stop, kind of even having a sense or an understanding of that. And that's goes back again to what I talked about all of us having masculine and feminine energy in us. To what extent are we at war within ourselves, too? Especially since we have justice, which is basically Libra energy, which is the scales. How do we incorporate and heal all these parts of ourselves? I think that's what we're dealing with this week, is finding this balance between divine feminine, divine masculine within us. Maybe forgiving the masculine a little bit, or still holding the masculine accountable with the justice energy, but also holding the feminine accountable, just holding all of it, kind of finding wholeness within our own psyche and within our own relationship to the external world, So this could be something kind of like let bygones be bygones. I've had this with people in my life where it's like, oh, that person has a lesson to learn. Like, that person doesn't get something. And I've spoken my piece, justice, but it's their own journey to figure that out. I can't, like, change someone because I want them to change, and I can't, like, make a message resonate with them. If it doesn't resonate with them, they're on their own journey of healing. I've just said a lot of words, and I hope they've, like, connected in some way. Because as I channel these divine messages, sometimes it just feels like this all over the place, tangential stream of consciousness. But it's really this week about kind of what is positive about masculine energy, what is positive about our own sense of inner authority, and how do we create this justice around what has been unjust for so long by using our own sense of authority with grace and with compassion. Whew. Big fucking week. At least psychologically, at least spiritually. Maybe in the external world, like, it's a boring, like, everyday week just going to work, but inside a lot is happening. And maybe that is happening and being reflected to us outside by through some crazy events. Who knows how this shit works. So, your mantra is, I lead from my own sense of inner authority with grace and compassion. I lead from my own sense of inner authority with grace and compassion. The grace and compassion is the justice. I lead from my own sense of inner authority with grace and compassion. Woohoo! We did it! Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week. Love you. Bye.